Good morning, boys and girls. Today I am here to continue to expand your knowledge on spelling alternatives. As you can see the tree behind me, today we're working on the j sound, as in jump, j, okay? And there's three different ways you spell the sound j. There's a G, a J, and a GE. All of these, so when you hear the sound j, as in jump, you can spell it three different ways. And I'm here to tell you when we use each different type of spelling. As you can see here, and you already are pro at this, the length of the branch is how common that spelling is. So you guessed it, you can see here the J and the G branch are very similar in length, meaning those two are the most common form of spelling for the sound j, as in jump. So the J, we use it mostly at the initial position of a word. So at the very beginning of a word, it is most commonly used as a J, such as jump. You see the J is at the beginning, Now let's move over to the G. Yeah, you guessed it. We do use a G spelling for the sound j, as in jump, okay? So when do we use a G? We use a G when the word begins with GE, as in gem, GI, as in ginger, and GY as in gypsy. Although all these start with the letter G, it has the J sound. J, M, ginger, J, ipsy. So when it starts with the GE, GI, and GY, it is also used to replace a GE word, okay, when you're adding a suffix. Remember, a suffix is like ing, est, ed. So if you have a GE and you want to add a suffix, you get rid of that GE and you just add the G spelling. For example, like the word large. We have a GE here, but we want to add the suffix est, largest. So that GE, we're going to get rid of that GE. When you add a suffix, it's replaced with just an E. So large, and then you add your suffix, est. Okay, so if the word has a GE, but you want to add a suffix, you get rid of the GE and you make it just the G spelling, okay? Or another word could be barge. You see that GE here? I want to add the suffix ing. So I'm going to get rid of that GE, barge, and I'm going to make it just a G and then add my suffix, barging. Okay. Another reason when we use a G is when a separate vowel digraph, such as age. You can see here that there's a separating vowel digraph. The A and the E is separated by the G. Or huge is a separate vowel digraph of the U and the E. That G separates that vowel digraph. So you know the J sound is going to be spelt with the G. And very last, the smallest little branch is the GE. You get it? That's not very commonly used. So we use the GE spelling only a couple times here and there. And it's usually at the end of words that after an R controlled vowel sound. The R controls the sound, okay? For example, the word large. The R is controlling, so you are going to add that GE. Large. R, you hear the R controlled vowel sound. So large, there's a GE, or the word urge. Urge, that's an R controlled vowel sound. So it ends in the GE. And then another way we use a GE spelling is with the consonant cluster. So, for example, let's think of the word plunge. Plunge. You have a consonant cluster here, the N and the G. So you know the ending of J is with the GE. Or bulge. There's that consonant cluster there, so you know the J sound is going to be a GE. So let's review. When do we use a J, a G, and a GE for the sound J as in jump? If you hear the sound J, it could be spelled with the J, mostly at the beginning. Jump. We use a G for the sound J. If it starts with a GE, GI, a GY. If you have a word that has a GE and you want to add a suffix, an ending, you take away the GE and it becomes just a G. So here we have the word large, but I wanted to make it the largest. I wanted to add the suffix est. So I took away the GE, added one G, and added the suffix est. The other way is when there's a separate vowel diagram. So you see an H and huge, the G, the ch sound is being separated by a vowel digraph. So you're going to spell it with the G. And last but not least, it's the least that we use, of course, because it's the smallest branch. We use it when there's a consonant cluster. So you see here that right before the GE, the J sound, plunge. It's a GE because there's a consonant cluster. Bulge, the J sound, we know it's spelled GE because there's a consonant. It's a consonant cluster. Or when there is an R control vowel sound. In these two words, the R really controls it. So, large, urge. The J is a GE, and you know that because it's an R-controlled vowel sound, okay? So I hope you learned a lot today. We are going to continue to add to that brain of ours so we can become fantastic spellers. And I'll see you next